Hi, Weather Joey here with your bottom of the South Island weather recap and kind of forecast for Sunday, June 11th, 2023. Now, it's not really Sunday, June 11th. I made a forecast then, tried to get it going, but now I didn't have enough time. Basically, I haven't had enough time. Hasn't been that weather eventful, although every weather is eventful. Today, we're Wednesday, June 14th. So I'm going to give one as of my forecast as of Sunday that I had written down, and then we will recap this coming Sunday with a more accurate, not more accurate, but a more in time, up to date forecast and recap. So before we get started on this, I would like to take this opportunity, as always, to thank and acknowledge the First Peoples of this land, the First Nations, from North Saanich to Sooke and beyond across all of Turtle Island, this beautiful land, for allowing us to live, work, and play on their beautiful traditional territories. Many thanks. So I'm going to be reading verbatim. Here, look at this. 3 weeks ago, you probably saw this. Still there. Not going to change that at all. I'm just going to read verbatim what I always keep notes and up to date, but I don't always get a chance to get out here, although I sleep out here. Well, the family sleeps up in there. I don't always get a chance to put together a video forecast. So, last one was on May 21st. So let's get back to May 21st. Yes. Okay. Here we go. We're deep into summer, and let's just let you know that May ended up the warmest May ever. It was very dry. Warmest May on record. How many summer days did we have? We had 15 summer days, which is another record for May. And really, summer just continued all the way through June. So this is really 3 weeks of summer that we've been seeing here. And you'll hear it as I go through this. By the 21st of May, this ridge is backing off, allowing a brief west flow in off the Pacific with cloud from that old Gulf of Alaska low. No rain though. Meanwhile, we see upper low pressure develop over BC. This brings a much cooler and showery light northerly flow across the south coast for the 22nd and the 23rd. The first sign of rain in 2 weeks, but not much at all as new ridging pushes onto the BC coast waters for the 24th and 25th. Things start to clear out on the 24th, but it's not until the 25th that we're back into summery days under sunny skies. Sunny skies and weak ridging hold for the 26th, but more of a steady westerly flow starts to push across the coast as this ridge weakens. Morning cloud on the 27th, that kind of early morning cloud from the westerly moisture. And the 28th burns off because the sun's really strong. But temps are just marginally summery. We will count one summer day for both of those days. More of the same of this weak westerly flow for the 29th and the 30th, with a powerful sun burning through cloud for marginal summer temps. Another summer days for those two, 29th and 30th. The 31st sees this westerly flow ease and cloud sticks around longer, and temps are definitely a notch cooler now. And the westerly flow that's been it's been fueled by low pressure up in the Gulf of Alaska continually that was bringing that westerly flow across. Well, that brings us to the end of the warmest May ever. Now we're into June. Low pressure that's been high up in the Gulf of Alaska, like we just talked about, bringing a mellow westerly flow to the BC coast, starts to gather in waters well offshore as it drops southwards into the lower Gulf of Alaska. Westerly flow eases for mainly sunny skies prevail for the first 3 days of June under a mellow southerly flow. So that's kind of dropped down here. We start to see the flow come up. Not a lot of moisture with it. Lots of sun to burn any moisture that was coming, and temps start to warm up. As the offshore low slowly fills and tracks up towards the Haida Gwaii panhandle. Temps are warm enough to log more summer days. Skies remain sunny for the 4th and 5th as this low moves on into northern BC and new ridging pushes in from the southwest. Yes, temps start seasonal, but by the 6th we're jumping quickly as winds calm. Not really a strong ridge, but it has some support from down the coast. And it's more about the calmness. When this comes in, this ridge builds up. It's kind of calm, allowing temps to rise to a mini heat wave levels for the 6th and 7th. Check the records there. The hot spots hit 30 degrees plus. This ends quickly for the west coast on the 7th and into the 8th as coastal local pressure moves up from the Washington-Oregon coast, bringing fog, which it usually does. Gets a little kind of back eddy there. I think we've talked about it in years past. The inner south coast remains warm and sunny on the 8th for yet another summer day. This local coastal flow is supported by an overall south flow approaching the coast, fueled by broad low pressure in the Aleutians. So we're still getting a flow up the coast. And it also supports upper low pressure forming over the Pacific Northwest and Idaho moving in from here, and we want to watch that. This whole thing, we got a little low coming in here, and that's upper low pressure moving in from the southeast, and this brings cooler temperatures and much needed rain showers for the 9th and 10th. Then we celebrated ending a month-long dry streak, which was one of the longest dry streaks for this time of year, with beautiful, glorious rain. We weren't expecting much, but it just kept on coming for the south coast. And like I was thinking maybe 2 millimeters, and that just kind of hits and evaporates, doesn't do anything. This really got a chance to soak in. We saw 15, most stations say 15 centimeters, or 15 millimeters, 15 centimeters. But a lot of places got up around 20, 25 millimeters, and that really has a chance to soak in, and just felt so good. Anyway, that up until then, we were 10 days in, and we were logging tons of summer days. So summer was very strong. Now, as we got into the 11th, which is apparently today. As we got into the 11th, which is apparently today, we transition out of cloudy weather. So I'm going to my forecast here. We transition out of cloudy weather today as this upper low moves inland. That's the one we talked about, came in here, moves inland, with new ridging building in from the west-southwest. This unhappy guy, although he was more happy. This clears things out nicely for Sunday the 11th, and we're actually able to count a summer day for that. And it's got strong enough support here and from the south that temperatures are allowed to warm up fairly quickly for a nice, beautiful summery day on the 12th, the Monday the 12th. By Tuesday, this warm ridge will have backed away enough to allow a new ridge building in from the northwest. That's a much cooler ridge. We might see a little bit of a front move through, a cold front marking the transition, maybe a sprinkle here and there. That moves in with lots of wind and much cooler for the Tuesday, the 13th, and into Wednesday, which is really today. Mix of sun and cloud, cooler. We'll see some convergence on the South Island, but a generally pretty strong westerly flow across there. By Thursday, looks like this flow from the northwest, northwest, let's say, eases, and it's more of a westerly flow for Thursday, but remaining dry. But by Friday, we're expecting this westerly flow to bring a system in onto the coast Friday with spring rain and wind that will likely continue into cool showers. So it's a low up here that's bringing a system in, crossing on the Friday, and likely in behind a cooler west-northwest flow with showers for the Saturday the 17th. And cool spring-like weather looks like it'll continue into early next week, which will be on through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, into early that week of I think we're getting into the 20s. Not quite the 20s yet. Anyway, second half of June. I feel like I'm caught up, and that's the stress is, because that always stresses me when I don't get caught up, or when I'm not caught up. Anyway, hope that helps out you guys in the future. My friends out there, I'm so glad you got some rain. Oh, spirits and beings, plants and animals, I'm so glad you got some rain. I hoped it helped out. It made me feel better. Hope it made you feel better. And as always, my friends, may the forecast be with you.